This is going to be a rambling, a rant, but I want to talk about this particular subject. But first things first, I do this for me, for venting purposes. And if you don't like it, please, please, please get the fuck off my channel. I'm not looking for any praise, no accolades. Now, back to the subject at hand. Um, I want to talk about something that I've touched on a while back, but I'm gonna talk about it again. You know, but I want to talk about the differences between a celebrity and an average Joe. What is the difference between a celebrity and an average Joe? And I know a lot of people might say, oh, it's the money, the fame, the accolades, the social status, and whatnot. And those terms are very true. That is very true indeed. But there's one glaring thing that most people fail to realize and recognize, and that is when it comes to being a celebrity or an average Joe, there is no difference. There is no difference between a celebrity and an average Joe. Now, bear with me. When it comes to average people, first off, when it comes to celebrities, I don't know their lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? Because I was never a celebrity, nor I was born into wealth and money, so I don't know those dynamics like that. But when it comes to being an average Joe, I was born in a family of working class people, around working class people. And I've realized that when it comes to humans, once they reach a certain level in their job position, once they reach a certain level, they begin to act very arrogantly. They begin to act very shitty towards others who are below them, or they like to pick and choose on who to be shitty to or be arrogantly to. Who's below them as well. But I realize a lot of motherfuckers like to pick and choose on who to look down on when it comes to their newfound success and wealth. And the reason why I say this is because, like I said before, I was around a lot of, working class people who made money and all that stuff. And some of those people that I came across, some of those people acted very arrogantly because of their job position and all that stuff, And it made me realize that for a long time, there is no difference when it comes to being a celebrity and an average Joe. It all depends on the individual, but for the most part, there is no difference because we're all humans at the end of the day. And I realized that when it comes to many humans, not all now, but when it comes to some humans, hell, maybe many humans, once they reach a certain level, they begin to look down on others and they like to hang out with their own kind. Not trying to say nothing, and I'm not trying to say there's something wrong with that. I think that's the correct thing to do, for the most part, hang out with your own kind. I get that. But to look down on others just because they don't have a certain amount of money, just because they don't have this, that, and the third, what makes you think that you're a better person? Just because you have all this superficial materialistic nonsense, that doesn't make you a better human being. You're just a human that has more than the average person. That's it. That's it. And like I said before, when it comes to celebrities, like overall, they're humans too. They're humans just like average Joes. The only difference is that they was lucky enough to capitalize on their talent, and their talent their talent could be music, dancing, playing sports, being a movie director, stuff, things within the performing arts, different types of things, you know what I'm saying? And that's what makes you notable. And that's what gives you notoriety because of your talent. But that still doesn't make you a better human being than anybody else. That still doesn't make you a god. And that still doesn't give you the right to treat other people below you just because they're not on the same level as you. And I've heard so many accounts of how celebrities treat regular people like garbage. I'm talking about working class people like garbage. And it shouldn't be like that at all. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, man. It is what the fuck it is. But that's all I got to say about that, man. That's all I got to say. Be mindful of your words and what you say to people and how you say it, because eventually it might come back on you. Not in the same way, but in a different format. And that's all I got to say about that, man. That's all I got to say. So, yeah, man. So, thank you so much and have a good day.